Greater is later for those who understand that being a disciple is a personal decision that can only come after one has taken an opportunity to do some personal reflection. Listen, I understand this morning that for many of you, just my challenging you in the way that I am is not going to make you make the changes you need to make in your life to live as disciples of Jesus Christ. And in truth, that's how it should be. The motivation to commit to being a disciple is not seated in my saying that you should, but instead it should be seated in your understanding of the commitment that God made to you. In truth, part of the reason we've not experienced greater breadth of ministry or greater influence in our community or greater love amongst each other is because many of us have never truly created a personal relationship with the Lord in the first place. We have a bunch of imposters. Like any other church, we have folks who look the part but are really not what they appear to be. Some of us have been riding the coattails of mama and daddy and grandma and grandpa and auntie and uncle. But mama and them didn't introduce you to Jesus so you could just say you met him. They introduced you to Jesus so that you could get to know him for yourself. We can't expect greater if we've never declared ourselves in a personal relationship with him in the first place. Let me explain something to you. You see, God is all-powerful. He's omniscient and omnipresent, and through him everything that is, was, and will be exists. He has everything that we could ever want and ever need. But what should cause us to make change in our lives and our approach to life should be the fact that despite all that God has, he saw us, the Lazaruses, those who were dead in sin and had no hope of true life outside of the gates to his kingdom. He saw us in our impoverished state of being covered in sin and outside of his will, and reached down and picked us up because he knew that the chasm or gap that existed between us and him could not be bridged by ourselves. Unlike the rich man in our text, God decided to reach outside, despite the fact that he didn't have to, in order to show his love for us and to provide us true hope and to qualify us for the greater that he would have for us, which is eternal life. How did he do it? Someone asked. He gave the best he had in his son Jesus Christ. And in his giving of his son, he guaranteed our greater to come if we just embrace the good news that God so loved the world, that he gave his only son, that whosoever believes on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Just as we are at one point in the text, the rich man in the story, whom God has blessed tremendously, we too are nothing more than the Lazarus, the unworthy who are outside the gate, who've been blessed with his grace.